Hey guys, welcome. I wanted to quickly answer a question that I get all the time, and that is it possible to land a role at a company that's higher than what you applied for? In other words, let's say you got in to be seen as a senior marketing manager and you leave with the director of marketing role. Does that happen? Not all the time. I mean, because usually, especially the larger the company, these are pretty clearly established hierarchies there. But it does happen. And let's talk a little bit about how that would happen, right? So, number one, you got to ask yourself, okay? And I don't want to give you any advice here without first making this clear, because this is easily as important as everything else. I hope that if based on your experience level, based on everything that you've done, if you know that you should be playing ball at the director level, let's say, please don't think it's going to be easier to go one step below. It's an error in thinking. You have to go through the same hiring process. You have to go through all the same checks and balances. And yes, now you're going to be dealing with the overqualified label. So don't think that you're going to have an easier go of it, especially if time is running out. And I do understand that, but don't think that that you're going to land a job faster by underselling yourself or going underneath. So just know out of the bat, I'm never going to advocate for that. Now, having said that, let's say you really want to get a role at Facebook, right? And the only opening that you've heard about is one that's like one or even like two steps below. Should you pursue it? Yeah. And here are the two major areas that you can affect to make this happen. If you're really interested in either securing a role that's like one step higher than what you're supposedly going out for, or you just want to make sure that the offer comes in at the highest level, because they're in large parts one and the same. So two things. Number one, your platform has got to be playing at that higher level. Again, using my example, director of marketing, that platform, study the LinkedIn profiles of people who have that and are highly experienced in playing at that level, and not those of your peers. Now is the time to erase all of your peers who are at your level from your lexicon. Nothing they do has any bearing right now. All you care about is, number one, having a short list. And I would just have like 8 to 10 LinkedIn URLs of your competitors who, again, are playing ball at that director or more senior level. Study, how are they positioning themselves? How are they marketing and branding themselves, right? Like what are the skill sets that they are continuously talking about and using? What can you use in your profile and your platform, right? Because that's going to be your visible face there. Similarly with your experience section, take a look at what aspects of their background they're highlighting. They're not going to be highlighting core job responsibilities most of the time. They're going to be highlighting bottom line results, vision, and the higher up you go, the more strategic things tend to get, right? So you got to brand yourself first. You got to wear the suit, you got to drive the car, you got to have the house first before employers are going to be seeing you that way. Don't think that if you're coming in as a manager and your platform, more importantly, is that of a manager, that you're ever going to be perceived as a director. It just doesn't work that way, right? So number one is to what I call kill your darlings, and just erase, no matter how much you love your profile, it's time to just take a clean slate approach and base it almost entirely on your competition. What are they doing? How are they promoting themselves? A simple search on LinkedIn is going to do that for you. You search for director of marketing in an industry that you're interested in. Make sure that the companies are larger companies, let's say. You're going to get the most visible profiles first, right? These are people who are doing things right on their profile. So it's not rocket science to study that, but you got to be really, where people get tripped up is saying, I can have it both ways. I can keep these old experience things. No. Top up to the, bottom to the top, or I guess bottom to the top, has got to be playing ball at that level. So number one, your platform has got to be, without question, playing ball at that senior level. And then the second thing is your vision. And this is difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult if you're reaching for a role, the vision has got to play ball there. No one brings in an executive, let's say, to talk about the rudimentary stuff. They're looking to answer bigger questions. And how you approach the interview, what stories you share, what your plan is for moving things forward. And you better believe that if you're going for something more senior, you better have a plan for what you're going to do. What are you going to do when you start there? Not just like, here, this is what you tell me to do, but again, what is your plan? Based on your understanding of this company, where they're at, where they're playing ball, the questions you've been asking, what is the most important things that you got to address and tackle, right? So platform, number one, has got to be playing ball at that higher level. And then your vision during the hiring process has got to be up at that level. If you falter on those two levels, it's very, very hard to be seriously considered for something higher. But if you can do a good job on those two things, really the sky is the limit. And this is coming from someone who I've been involved in the hiring process. I know what it looks like on the other side. Companies do bring on people who are way more qualified, or they'll, create a job title for them that's more in line with who they are, but only once they've demonstrated this. They've demonstrated unbelievable expertise at that level, so it's not a reach, it's not a risk, and they've demonstrated a vision that people just fall in love with, So that's the answer to that question. I hope that that's been helpful. Please do keep the questions coming. Write to me right in the comments below. Let me know what you're working on, what's working for you, what's not. Happy to help, in every way I can to make this, the greatest year of your working life. Thank you guys so much.